I'll know in a second if it hit it. Do 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 do.
Do do.
It should be our theme song, right?
I feel like I haven't talked to you in forever, like for reals.
Well, we talk all the time, though. I mean,
Yeah, but just like textually.
well, we're going out next week.
Yes, we are
It
on
might have to be
Wednesday.
Tuesday if that's okay. Could it be Tuesday if possible?
Oh, let me check.
We'll
I
talk
think
about
that.
it later. We can talk
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah. Okay,
I might have
okay.
something I have to do that night, but it just came up, of course,
Of
for
course.
the children. Not
That's
anything
legit.
for me. You know, it couldn't be anything for me. So I think that we're live. I'm just checking because, I have no idea. I didn't get a ding ding on my phone.
Hmm.
We are. We are. We're
Hello.
live. Hello. Welcome. Two girls. I figure we just call it Two Girls, One Show, and then we change the topic each week. Like, that makes the most sense.
Yo, that does make the most sense. I like it. Two girls, one show.
Two Girls, One Show. And today we're talking about
It.
it. Like, it. Because everybody who knows us knows we love Steven. That,
I love Stephen King.
not like any other Steven. Is there other Stevens that are impactful in life?
I don't know any other Stephens that I like. Like I like Stephen King. So,
Do we have
and
to?
it's
Do I have to point out the obvious right now?
well, I'm married to somebody named Stephen who does not watch our show. So, obviously, I love Stephen King more.
Obviously. So, okay, we have a problem where we made plans to go see it together, and we didn't.
Because I'm flaky.
Not
That's why.
really.
I'm kind of flaky.
Yeah, but not with me. You're usually not. It was weird. Like we had so much going on, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we didn't see it together. I ended up seeing it twice in the theater. Sorry.
It's okay, bestie. You
I,
know what?
you know.
Having watched it, we're going to talk about it some more, but I don't know if I could have watched that in a theater.
Okay, so I need to hear your react. You just watched it last
I
night and
just
this
I
morning.
just finished it about 10 minutes ago.
All right, I need to hear your reactions.
The very first thing I have to say about it and why I did not finish it last night is that is not a movie you can watch with the lights on. It's so dark.
It is.
It like forces you to turn out the lights so there's no glare.
Right, because if you have a glare, you're going to miss something.
Like you
It's.
cannot watch that on like a sunny afternoon.
No, not at all.
Like it won't like the
No.
just even the screen won't allow it.
Right.
So kudos to you filmmakers because it's like I was alone in my house and I had to watch it in complete darkness and my subtitles were jacked up, so I had to turn it up really, really
Were
loud
they
because I couldn't hear.
Spanish?
They weren't Spanish, they just were really early.
Oh, I
They
hate
were
that.
like
Yeah,
they were like 2 minutes off.
that's the worst. So you turn it up.
So I had to turn it way up, and then that's another reason I stopped watching it because I'm like, okay, like killer clown shrieking, like that's all I need,
Brooke
my
to come
kid
down
to
to.
hear. So I finished it with Steve on a call upstairs, like as loud as it would go.
That's amazing. She's probably like, oh, geez.
That's just Dana again.
That's just Dana
But
watching some TV.
yeah. So I love Stephen King.
Well, yes, we've
I
just
love
gone over
Stephen.
this,
It wasn't my favorite book,
and it wasn't. And we've talked about why before because it's 7 hours of a chapter. Like you know what I mean? It's like the longest book you could ever read by him,
and it's meandering,
and it
and it's weird.
meanders.
And I Googled this because I had a suspicion, and that the writing of that book falls right into his like hardcore cocaine alcoholism phase.
Yeah. So people who don't know this, Stephen had a little downfall where he had a lot of drug use.
From 78 to 86, he was drinking like a case of beer a night and then some cocaine so he could write.
Legit reason. I mean,
He
you
does
know,
not remember writing Cujo
which is
at
crazy.
all.
Which is crazy. So, like we understand this was during the weird time. If you have read it or you haven't, I recommend it, Audible it,
Yeah, read
because
it.
it's like 44 hours long. It's Audible. It'll take you 17 years to read.
Sorry, the other Steve is here.
He heard
We're
you.
live. Skedaddle.
He heard you. But I mean, the book is really fucked up. Like, let's just be
Did
honest
you like
here.
it?
I liked it because it is so intense. There's
It's very intense.
there's not a moment that goes on that you're just not like, why is this happening? Why is this going on like this? Everything is very, very deliberate, but out there.
Yeah, yes, that's the perfect description of it. It's like, this is so strange, but you tie it all together, but it's weird.
Right. It doesn't make any sense on how they get there. I mean, really. Oh, thanks for the follow, Disrupted. Um, really, when you look at it, how the book gets from A to B is completely ridiculous.
So because I haven't read it, I was thinking about it, and it's been like 7 years.
That's a long
So
time.
I was just reading a Wikipedia like summary.
Refresh.
Okay, so the kids, they try to figure out where it came from by building, is this right? They built a smokehouse
Yeah.
and then get themselves into like a hallucinatory state, and that's how they figure out that it came from an asteroid-like impact. This is all correct information?
This is correct
Okay.
information.
Okay. Yeah, and it is oh, and when it was created, he was puked up by a turtle?
Yes.
Is this correct
That
also?
is correct
Okay.
as well. Now that is like really
That's
big
Dark
within the book.
Towery.
That's Dark Towery. It's really big within the book, and they will probably touch on that in the older version. So like
Right.
the first movie you see it chapter 1, I think is kind of what they're calling it.
Volume,
Volume
Chap-
1, one or the other.
chapter. I think it's chapter.
It's
I think
the
you're right.
kids version. And
Which is how they should have done it. I'm glad they broke it up.
because the book intermixes the whole entire time. It's like kids chapter, adult chapter, kids chapter. It
Yeah.
just does this weird jumpy, which is hard to follow.
Did the miniseries do that?
Yes. I think the
It jumped.
miniseries jumped. I haven't seen the miniseries in like 7 years, so that's a long
I
time
don't
for
think-
that one.
I don't think I've ever seen all of it. I know. I
It's
just
on
remember
Amazon Prime.
John Ritter.
Yeah. Steve Curry. Yeah. So I think that they did that in the book. It was really hard to follow.
Yeah. Yeah. I maybe. I honestly don't remember.
You don't
I
remember.
should revisit it.
You should.
I want to take a moment also. I think I'm going to quit doing the Goodreads reading challenge because I end up reading like short stupid books instead of like what I really want to because I want to hit my goal.
I know. I do the same thing. I read
Yeah.
like horrible books that are just.
Yeah, like well, this one's 7 hours. Okay. Like
Yeah, I could bust this out in a day.
that's the
exactly
only
what
reason
think.
I have not reread this.
Right. So, okay, so I get that and I understand that, but what my problem is that the book. A lot of his books are fantastical where you're like, there's no killer clown. But there's no killer clown that was puked up by the Mother Earth turtle that's, floating around in space. There's
It in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen.
but the movie, I feel, did a very good job of making it lifelike.
Yeah, and I was a little skeptical because like Tim Curry obviously is Pennywise. Yes, love, love, love. I was a little bit frightened, but this was such a different interpretation, and both interpretations work.
They do. They do.
But Skarsgård was creepy.
His eyes would move different directions.
Yeah, is that something you can really do?
I don't know if he could really do that, but when he's in the sewer grate and he's looking up at Georgie.
Oh, poor Georgie.
Poor Georgie, who is the cutest boy in the whole world. Like, oh my
and
God.
he was great. He was so good.
And to think that they acted that without it around. Like they did it separately. They filmed it completely separate.
Oh my God.
Because they were afraid of him.
Well, yeah.
Well, I would
Yeah.
be too.
Yeah.
But his eyes, like when he's in the sewer grate and like the one just starts going in different directions, which I guess could be his eyes, but I've never seen his eyes do that like in anything else. So whatever they did, it was really good.
Yeah, that was.
It was
creepy.
Really, really horror based. It wasn't so much the fantastical base that the book really is.
Yeah. I mean, there were some like cheap, like jumpy jump moments, like, but it was like legit scary. But and I know like people loved this. People really liked this movie.
They did.
I think it was a little heavy-handed. It was a lot. And that's my problem with like huge books being made into movies. Even though they separated it, it's like you have to make a lot of decisions what you're including and what you're not. And I still feel like they just crammed so much in there.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. They took all the kids met it within the first half hour of the movie.
Uh-huh.
That's
But
a
Richie
lot.
Richie didn't meet it, did he? Like, did Richie ever meet him on his own? Because in the book he had the werewolf thing going on.
I don't think they did the werewolf thing,
Uh-uh.
which I loved Richie's character.
I've always loved Richie. I've
Beep,
always
beep,
loved
Richie.
Beep. And okay, come on. They should get.
They
I
only
was
said
really
it one
upset.
time. They only
I was
said it
really
one
upset.
time. I was real pissed, but when they said it, I cheered in the theater so loud. People stared at me. I was like, beep, beep, Richie, beep, beep. And everybody's like, because they've never read the book.
Why would you go see that if I want to talk to somebody who hasn't read the book and see what they think of this movie?
Drew.
What did he think of it?
He loved the movie.
Okay.
Disruptive, we're talking about the movie/book It. Mostly the movie. He loved it. He wants to read it. What we've explained to him, because our friend Al's read it, is the kids have sex in the book.
They have a big orgy.
They have an orgy. Like little kids. So that is definitely taken out of the movie.
Even Stephen King was like, yeah, I don't know why I put that in the book. Because you were on cocaine.
That's
Cocaine's a crazy drug.
Crazy drug. They took out a scene where you learn about its past. And I think you learn this. We'll call him Pennywise. I don't want to confuse it. We learn about Pennywise's past. I think you learn this in the adult section of the the book.
Yeah.
That he ate that one woman's baby as a sacrifice.
Yeah.
They took that out. Apparently it was worse.
I'm sure they had to make some interesting choices there.
Disruptive, that's the one with the clown. Pennywise, the dancing clown. I know. I knew it was going to freak you out.
It freaked me out. And again, I keep making these bad decisions. Like, hey, I'm alone. It's dark. I have a great idea.
I'm going to watch it. So it's been a while since you read the book, but as a standalone Stephen King movie, what did you think? Because we hate Stephen King movies normally, except for Dolores Claiborne,
Shawshank,
Misery.
Misery's good.
The Mist, the short version.
The Mist is good.
Yeah, but Tommy Knockers is okay.
I've never seen that movie. I did not like the book.
No, I said the movie's all right.
What other
Pet Cemeteries?
I love that book. Could we please talk about that book on here? Because the audiobook is coming out next month.
Oh, yes, we definitely will. We need to make that down. So what did you think? Out of Stephen King movies, how did you feel that this movie placed?
Out of all the Stephen King movies, worst being The Langoliers.
That was such a bad movie. Who watches that now?
We'll say worst being Langoliers, best being Shawshank Redemption. Oh, Green Mile's good too.
Yeah, Green Mile's good too.
I'm gonna put it at a 7.
That's really
7
good,
or an 8
for you because
comparatively. Yeah, I mean it's good. It's definitely. Oh, let me ask you this: how did you feel about them changing it to make it fit in? The adults are going to be adults in our time, right? Because in the book, this all happens to Georgie in 56, 57.
Right.
And in the movie, he's taken in 88.
In 88. So they've bumped it up to our timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be the interesting dynamic. We're going to have the idea of technology, which is something that people don't understand, is that now we're changing the entire facet of the novel to iPhones, to computers. That wasn't in the book.
Right.
But they have to put it in now, right? You have to. You have to. You can't ignore that.
Right. Yeah. That's a really good point.
So what's that going to change? Is it going to make it so the library is not as important? The actual research isn't important. They're going to be using their phones more to fight it. Is it going to hit on the disconnection of society and the creation of it versus the technology within the world? Are they going to try to go metaphysical like we've talked about with Mother the other week? Are they going to try to change that? I don't know. Because in the end, and it's shown in the first movie and it's shown through the book, it's the fact that the kids are one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because they can't defeat them individually. They're all needed together.
So where is that line? Where is that? Are they going to continue that theme? I don't know.
Well, and that's the thing too, because if this were taking place with kids right now, right? If it was set in 2018, these kids would have never met each other. They'd all be inside on their phones.
They'd be on Snapchatting each other. Look at the
Yeah.
scary clown.
Yeah.
Snapchat. Like, that's what they would do. So that's why I don't understand. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Because those people would be about our age.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, because Georgie was like, I mean, how old was Georgie when he was taken?
Well, in the
5?
book, like 4, right? 3
Right.
or
So
4.
yeah, so that would be exactly like I was 3 in '88.
Right.
So
It makes sense.
yeah.
So that's why I don't know how they're going to do that.
I mean, I wasn't born yet.
You were. But right, like I don't know how they're going to change it then. If they're changing it to include the technology of what today has,
They have to address
they
it,
have to
but
address it.
yeah.
I hate when movies don't address things like that. I hate
Mhm.
when they change timeline, but they don't address the idea of technology and how it changes the book.
I mean, yeah, it's gonna change a lot.
Yeah. I mean, one of them's no spoilers. I won't say the names, but one of them dies like right in the beginning. One of the adults. So I don't know if they're even going to do that.
You know what? That struck me too. I'm like, I couldn't remember there being that many kids.
There are that many kids,
I'm
but
like, this is a big club. There were never this many losers when I was in high school.
it's the huge loser club. But in the book, one of the adults dies right away.
Yeah.
He kills himself.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
So they have to address that unless they don't do that because I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. And I'm interested to see because it comes out next year.
I can't believe we have to wait like a whole year.
I know. But, getting back to this film, the kids did such an excellent job.
I was a little worried about what's his name? Finn, what's his name? Wolfie. The kid who plays Richie.
Oh, I don't remember his last name, but he's in Stranger
Wolfhard.
Things.
Wolfhard? Finn Wolfhard. Yeah.
He's in Stranger Things.
He's in Stranger Things, and I was a little like, okay, we're really getting typecasted early here, like these 80s throwback movies.
I know, right?
But he's a totally different character. He did great.
He did wonderful.
Yeah.
He did wonderful. He was funny. Some of his jokes I was hysterically laughing at. I'm like, wow, I'm a 12-year-old boy apparently because these are hilarious.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sorry,
I know.
the beaver dam joke was the funniest joke I've ever heard in my life. And he's just like up top, like come on, it's perfect. They really captured that essence of them being kids.
Right, and the stuff you say when parents aren't around, like that was very, yeah,
It was really cheeky, almost in that kind of way.
Yeah.
I think
No,
they
that
all
was-
did fine. I don't like how the main focus was on Ben.
Okay, the fat
The
kid.
fat kid.
Yeah.
That's such a mean thing to say.
I know.
it was-
I'm not allowed to
it
say.
was
I was
mostly-
as soon as I said it, I'm like, am I even allowed to say that anymore?
But really, okay, how about I put it this way? The focus is not on Mike and Stan, like at all.
Yeah, they're just like ancillary, like floating around and.
And they have a massive part in the book,
Mhm.
especially Mike.
Hmm.
Like the
Yeah.
whole race issue.
Yeah, and I really liked Mike in the book.
I did
Like,
too.
I really liked him, and he was just so on the periphery.
Well, Mike stays behind.
Yeah.
He's the main character of the adults, I believe. Because doesn't he stay behind and run the library?
Yeah, he stays in town. Yeah.
So-
His parents don't die in the book either, do they?
Yeah, they get burned alive. That is
In the
true.
book? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
they get burned alive, and like, there's a lot about how that club burned down. They don't
Mm.
even address that.
Yeah, there's a lot that wasn't like.
Well, they couldn't. Like we said before, you're taking a 42-hour Red Dew novel and 780 pages. I don't know, like 700 pages long, and you're putting
Yeah.
it down to a 3-hour movie.
2.
Yeah, whatever. What was it 2? Oh my
Mhm.
god, how they fit all that in there? I don't know.
It was like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
So I don't know. Like you have to pick and choose what you did, but I think that them like excluding Mike and Stan really from the main storyline. Even Richie was kind of like a little ancillary.
The
comic
beep
relief.
beep thing was making me mad. Like he was. I love Richie. Richie from the Ditchy.
Richie from the Ditchy. Beep beep. Richie.
Bevy from the Levy.
Right, but it was Bev. It was
Well, they were really
Ben.
pushing that romantic angle.
because they couldn't have the sex with the kids in the book. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad they didn't do that. That was weird. That was weird.
all of it was weird. Like
It's a weird book.
I agree. I agree.
I mean,
So
the only reason I'm not outright saying I didn't like it is because Stephen King wrote it,
you would
and he's
never
my
say
boy,
that.
so
You
I
would never
can't
say
say
that.
that.
You would never say that. I know you too much.
But if we just randomly picked this book and it was by somebody else, I'd be like, "Oh, this is shit. What is this?"
Because there's like 12-year-olds having an orgy.
And like asteroid clown from outer space, like.
I know. I'm just. Uh,
But it has such a following.
well, you
I
know.
don't know. And
I
there's
don't know.
good stuff. I mean, I like the balloons. I like, he's watching, he's coming. Like, I like
I
the
like
building up of
this.
suspense.
I like the scene with Ben in the library.
Yeah, I like that too. I like that too.
And that really kind of was the only one that gave it a lot of his background.
Yeah. Yeah, but even then, it's like they don't really get into it. But maybe they're saving it.
They'd have to be, right? Like they'd have to be saving it because it does not make any sense that uh, again, like the whole issue with Mike not having his big moments because he had big moments in that book. Like, yes, they make that little hut, and they did not have the hut at all in there where they build that little smokehouse.
Well, and he didn't even live in the same place.
He lived outside of
Like,
town.
well, didn't he live in the like where did he live in the book? In the sewers? Or I mean, he didn't have like the well house where like there was no creepy
Well,
old
they
house
had a
it
pump
lived in.
house, but I didn't think it was a house. I thought the pump
Yeah.
house was like a legitimate concrete
Yeah.
pump house. That's what we have
Right.
around here. You know what I mean? But that was not how I saw that at all.
No. No, I kind of didn't like that he had like a house. Like, oh, we're going to its house. Let's go. Wonder if
Oh,
Pennywise is home.
that was the only time Richie saw him because in the clown room.
Yeah. But everybody else saw him before. Well, not everybody else. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody else but Richie.
Yeah.
Because he made that crack about like, did only virgins get to see him, and that's why he didn't see him.
That was a good one. I like Richie. Like, he just made the movie for me.
I wanted more Richie.
I did too. And I wanted more Mike. They
Mhm.
pushed the romance a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. That kid was good. I thought that kid was good as Bill.
Oh, as Bill, he did such a good job. His
He
stuttering
looks.
wasn't that bad.
No.
I thought I'd
No,
get
but
really annoyed by it, and it wasn't that bad.
no, it wasn't bad. No. No. He
'Cause
did good.
in the book, it's way worse. Like, when you have it read to you on Audible,
On speed too.
on speed 2, which is my speed, it sounds like somebody's having a seizure.
It's delightful.
But I think those are some of the big things they missed. They missed, their little clubhouse they made. They missed like 95% of Mike's backstory and Mike's involvement.
Mhm. Yeah.
One of my big questions is, so in the book, who's the bad guy? What's his name? The bad kid?
Henry?
Is it Henry?
Is it Henry?
Henry.
I mean, he carved an H into.
Yeah, I think it is Henry. I think you're
Okay.
right. He like doesn't get thrown down the well shaft, I don't think, because he's in the adult part in jail
Oh, he's accused of. He
for
ends up
killing
coming out the
everybody.
pipe, and they think he did it.
There is no way he survived that fall. Did you see
No.
how long that fall was?
Yeah, it was pretty
Unless
bad.
it was down there laying a mattress
And caught him.
and caught him. He's not surviving that fall, right? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Yeah. And I mean, unless it's different in the book, maybe it wasn't. I don't know if he fell in the book.
I don't know if he did either, but that was weird because now I'm thinking, how are they going to? He's a huge antagonist for the adult section. Like, he's trying to kill them and works with it. Pennywise.
Right. Did they cast? Did they cast it yet?
I think they did. And
I gotta look. I'm so curious.
because they have to have good people do it, or else it ruins it for us.
I know. Ugh.
I mean, obviously they're having
Yeah,
Pennywise is Pennywise.
Well, yeah. Cast release date. Blah blah blah. Everything you need to know.
Everything.
Everything. Well, let's see. Digital spy. Tell me your secrets.
All right. Bill Skarsgård, yes. They've casted Georgie, but it's the same kid because They must have flashbacks of Georgie.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I see on here.
Once the movie's greenlight, casting will get underway for the grown-up versions.
They'd have to have it casted by now. Like, look at... It's coming out in 2019.
Yeah, they have to. Huh.
I don't know. I'll be interested to see who they choose. I mean, that picture of just...
It's so weird though, because it has to be people like, you're right though. It'll have to be people like around our age. So who are actors around our age that would like work?
It's probably like Kristen Stewart, and we're gonna be real pissed.
Jesus, no! Oh my God, no!
Because you and me can't handle that.
No, no.
I'm curious too.
They have to know. It's coming out in 2019. They have to know.
I think they're just not telling anybody for whatever reason, but they have to, because think about it. The whole movie has to be filmed or filming.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's going to be Halloween 2019.
Is that when this? Yeah, it can't. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that would make sense.
I'm assuming. So you have like about a year and a half. I know. There'll be horrible movies we can watch in between.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure. So, do you think that they made it scarier than in the made-for-TV version?
I haven't seen the whole made-for-TV version.
I mean, but even like the look of them.
You mean Pennywise?
Pennywise, yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but there was something scary about the not scariness of Tim Curry.
And I've heard a lot of people talk about that. Like some people that have recently rewatched, the miniseries, is whatever it was considered, and this version, and they do not like how scary they made Pennywise look.
Well, because it's hard to see, like, even Georgie, like, it's kind of hard to believe he would be like, oh, okay. Like, he's not, but Tim Curry, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take your balloon, Tim Curry.
I mean, I would.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the whole scene when he comes out of the sewer, when Bev is in the sewer and he comes out of his dancing clown,
mm-hmm.
and that was the creepiest thing.
That was awful.
When he's dancing and you're like, why? I'm really flustered by that whole situation. Like, there's nothing about him that goes, yay, circus.
Yeah. No, that was not. No, it was almost, I mean, but it worked.
And it did work. And I think that's part of the weird thing about it, is we were just like, this worked, but
they work on different levels.
Right. Like,
I wonder if the miniseries had never come out, what we would think of it,
Well, it's same as like anything, right? Like,
yeah.
We have nothing to base it off of. And then we love Tim Curry so much. So it's that weird thing of like, well, he's the original.
Yeah.
But this version hit on that whole terrifying to the core sort of feeling you get with clowns. And maybe because they moved it up, maybe that was sort of like like the modernized clown. So back in the 50s, maybe what you're thinking of Tim Curry's outfit, that's what you would have seen.
Right.
But in the 80s, you're not going to see that.
Well, and this is like too, like in a post Twisty the Clown kind of, they really had to up the ante maybe to try to get something. And you couldn't have somebody play Tim Curry playing Pennywise. No. Like that wouldn't have worked at all. So I get why people are complaining, but at the same time, like, I'm really glad he put his own spin on it.
I'm glad he did too. I like the eye changing, like the eye colors. Not only did like they move weird, and we don't know if that's his eyes or whatever.
I hope it's not his eyes.
I hope it's not his eyes. But they changed colors from like that blue to a gold. And I really like that. Like that subtle, that right there, that moment it's gonna be over. Like it was really well done.
God,
when he came out of the fridge.
Oh my God.
He was scary. It was scary to you.
Okay, what was scary to me is when Bill shot fake Georgie. And then fake Georgie like grew into Pennywise.
And he's like convulsing at first, then his arms get longer.
Just shoot out. I'm like
That fight scene was good because I liked their moment of realization that they had, because they have that in the book
Mhm.
after they all have sex. I don't know what he was thinking. Like,
Speaking of like 13-year-old boys, like she said sex
with each other. Well, poor Bev. Actually, it was just Bev that got.
Well, didn't Bev like instigate it? She was like, guys, I know what'll fix this.
She
I know.
did. So throughout the entire book, they're like, Bev's not a whore. Bev's not a whore. And then at the end, she's like, okay, I'm going to have sex with you, and you. And then we'll be it. Or Pennywise. Right? That's how she does it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, like, just playing devil's advocate, it does unify them all through Bev. Like, is Bev the key that pulls them all together?
And that was kind of the point of it.
Yeah.
But she's obviously in love with Bill.
Yeah, but Ben's in love with her.
I know. He writes
He writes
poetry.
her poetry.
I don't know if that was like a New Kids on the Block song, which them incorporating
That
New Kids
was
on the Block
funny.
was so funny.
That was great when she shuts that door and this poster's there. That was great. That was great. No, there were some really, really great moments.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was good. I think it was solid. It's still like not my favorite movie in the world, but I thought it was good.
I think it grossed more money than The Exorcist did. It was like the highest grossing horror movie,
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was.
which is fantastic for the Stephen King genre. Hopefully we'll, after the Dark Tower, we can.
Have you watched that?
No, I don't want to.
Oh my God. Maybe we should watch that for the sake of.
I hate that book
this.
so much.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you said that. Me too. And
God, I hate it. I've listened to it 6 times and I
Oh.
hate it every single time.
I know. I can't. I listen. I read the first 3 Dark Tower books, and I just can't. I can't. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it
They're
is.
awful.
They're
awful.
bad. But like as a Stephen King fan, that's like canon. Like, how can we not?
He has like 30 books in that genre. In that.
I
set.
know.
Like,
I've read every Stephen King book but those.
it's depressing.
It's depressing. And I wish I liked them. I want to like them.
I want to like them too, and I don't think I can. I've tried
No.
a lot. I own like 10 of them, and I'm like,
Yep. I know. I took mine off the bookshelf because I felt like a fake. I'm like, I can't even pretend I.
It's like a huge step.
I know, because it's like, I don't want. It's not who I am. I love him, but I don't love those.
And oh yeah, a geeky tea party. You haven't seen it because you're a big chicken, and it is scary. That's
And you cannot watch it with the lights on. It won't allow you
that
to.
glare. That glare. The almost like zombie scene in the sewer with the older boy with one of the older teens.
Yeah.
That was really creepy.
I feel like there were a lot of like burn victims. They should have done more with that fire, explaining
And
it.
they should have. That's another thing. Like I said, poor Mike's backstory. All you know is that his parents died in a fire. He works at a farm with his uncle/grandfather, and he used one of those things to kill a sheep.
That's not enough backstory for you.
It's not. He has this great backstory about that place being burned down, how his dad was like a member of the club, or his grandfather was, because it was a long time ago, and they burned the soldiers, where the black soldiers were, and they burned it down, and it's like really a good story, and maybe they bring it into the adults.
I hope.
I have a feeling that they're going to switch out who stayed back at the library.
You think?
I think they're going to make it Ben.
That would make sense. Because he was in the library.
I think they're going to make it Ben. Which is a huge plot change.
I know. Oh my God. What are they going to do to this book?
That scene with the picture frame lady eating the kid's face is disturbing. Yes, that lady eating Stan. That thin lady creeped me out too. I wouldn't go in my dad's office.
No.
Who has a picture like that?
I know who should have one. These 2 ladies right here.
And that's a very disturbing scene because it's just nobody knows what to do at first. Or just kind of staring at her eating his face off.
I mean, like I said, I don't think it was a bad movie, but
No.
I did feel like it was a lot of like disturbing scene upon disturbing scene upon disturbing scene.
Well, if they would have left that baby scene in there, could you imagine?
Ugh, ugh, ugh. I
And
mean,
that is, I mean,
you know how we feel about like babies being sacrificed. It's one of our favorite things to talk about.
and laughing appropriately about. Thank you, Mother, for ruining that whole entire topic for us. But it's weird, right? It's true. Like that whole scene, like everything's so gross and disturbing and creepy and
The whole
ugh.
movie has that like gross, disturbing, creepy.
When he's across the riverbank waving that kid's arm, the arm.
That made me laugh. I thought that was funny.
It's like the best meme in the whole world too, right?
Hey.
He's so excited. And I
Oh,
think they didn't flesh out the bullies, Henry and his gang, enough.
yeah.
They were just kind of like half antagonists, right? Like they were like like we always talk about this, the subplot versus the major plot in the book, and they were such a subplot. In the book,
Yeah,
they're so more major than that, and they're more integral in, you know, what happens.
yeah. They were. I mean, and they were very frightening in the movie, but you didn't really understand why they were so.
Like, why are they so frightening with their mullets?
Yeah, like what? And like just I don't know. Yeah, it just made me think like, does this kind of stuff really happen? Like, are there really like
Bullies that
pack
carve things into
pack
people?
bullies like that like try to stone people and like throw them off bridges after like carving their initial like first of all if you're gonna throw someone off a bridge and kill them why would you like sign your name on that
Like,
before you like
thrown by Henry. Winky face. Like, I don't
yeah
get it.
I don't get it either I mean they're very very angry.
Very angry. But I did like the scene with Henry and his dad was very well done.
Yeah,
When the dad shot at his foot and he started crying, like that was a really well done scene. It gave you something about him, which is why I hope they bring him into the next section. I hope he's not dead from that, massive fall down a pipe. Shouldn't be dead.
Pennywise caught him, then they danced.
They hugged. And he sold his soul to Pennywise, and then he went to jail.
That's actually probably what happened.
This
It
is
probably
probably,
is.
probably what happened.
If this is what happens when we watch it like
This is recorded right now.
yeah
So
we're calling it.
he gets caught by Pennywise. They dance. There's a cell souling, and then he goes to jail. You'll see him. Scene 1 of chapter 2.
He has like a picture of Pennywise in his prison cell.
Yeah. Love you, Penny.
I'll always treasure our dances.
You know what aspect of the movie I thought was like one of the best was that every house you went into, they were watching that kids show and Pennywise would be in it, or they tell you to go into the sewer, and that was
Yeah,
the best.
yeah, yeah. Everybody was always, and it was always like the grown-ups watching it too.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too, wasn't there something in the book about just how this
Yes.
happened every 27 years? There were people in that town who were old, but nobody seems to remember. Like the adults are all just like oblivious to that this keeps happening.
So I agree with that because it's such a weird situation because it's like they really mention it in the book that the adults forget. And the
Yeah.
only adult that doesn't forget is Mike.
Oh, God, if they change that, I'm gonna be so mad.
If they make it Ben, I'm going to be mad because it was not. Unless I'm completely wrong, I believe it was Mike that stayed behind.
I guess we could look it up.
Yeah, we're looking this
Oh, wait.
up.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
Let's see here.
Adult Mike. Yep, Mike.
It was Adult
An
Mike,
adult
right?
Mike Hanlon, now the town's librarian and the only one of the losers to remain in Derry. He calls everybody up when the murders start happening again. They're all in their 30s.
Right.
Bill is a successful horror writer living in England.
Yeah, with his wife, like the actress.
Yeah, Audra.
Oh, that's right. I hated her.
Oh my God, I don't remember any of this.
You need to read it again, listen to it
Yeah,
again.
I know. You know what? Goodreads. I think we're done. I think it's over. How do I bring your face back up? There you are. Okay. I'm really good with computers, everybody.
So I don't know. Like, I think that that's going to be interesting to see is how they do that. If they make it, I have a feeling they're going to make it Ben. I don't know. I don't know.
I gotta. Well, I have like a year and a half to reread it, so
You should. You should. But making it Ben will completely change. A birthday
everything.
100. Thank you for the bits. Kim, you're amazing. Whoop whoop.
Hi.
Hi, Kim. So yeah, if they change that, it changes everything about the movie. If they don't kill off one of the adults right away, it changes everything about the movie.
I think bumping the date changes a lot about the movie.
It does. Like again, the whole aspect of technology.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
And I actually didn't really realize that until you mentioned it, that they were going to do this.
Well, I didn't even think of anything of it till last night because when I saw that it was the date came up as 1988, and I'm like, I knew it was published in the 80s.
But the adults were in the 80s.
Well, it was published in 86.
Yeah.
So the adults were in the 80s, and then they were kids in the 50s. So
Right. 27 years.
that is clever. I like that.
I do too.
I like that.
You win on that one, movie people. Whoever came up with that.
They're remaking Pet Sematary. They're remaking the movie.
This.
I mean, I think it finally got greenlit.
You love Pet Sematary.
I do, and I don't like the movie, but I do like the guy who plays Judd Crandall. So I don't know. He's pretty dead now. I'm not sure what they're gonna do.
He's pretty dead.
I'm pretty sure he's quite dead.
Pretty sure he's quite dead. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's not until you reread it. I mean, some of my biggest complaints were some of the changes they made and how they packed into 2 hours. And really, this is like a 4-hour cutting a close movie that should be to get everything in there that you need to get in there.
Well, and it's not even, honestly, it's not even just this movie that I hate when they do that with any book to movie.
Right.
Like any huge book, you lose something.
Yeah. And splitting it between the two groups, I get that. That was a good choice.
I am glad they did that. Yeah. Yeah. But still, look at 11/22/63. Like I thought that was a really good choice making it into like a limited run series. Yeah, and that was just
You didn't finish it, did you?
No, did you?
Yeah, it was so bad.
It was a mess.
And I love Franco. I'm going to give it another go.
Maybe we should reread that and then watch it.
God, that book's so good.
I love that book so much. Yeah.
It's not your typical Stephen King book. So if you're interested in like more of historical fiction with some supernatural stuff, read that.
Yeah, and it goes together with Dead Zone.
Yes.
Kind of, because Dead Zone's like the opposite. Dead Zone's like if you could go back and change, or if you could change something before it happens, would you? And then this 11/22/63 is like if you could go back and change it, would you? That's a decent movie, Dead Zone.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's good.
It's a really great book. I'd lend it to you, but somebody borrowed mine, and I haven't seen it in a long, long time. I'm not sure what happened to it.
I'll have to definitely be on the lookout.
If you ever come across a copy of it somewhere, you should read it.
I should read it. I think I listened to it though. Didn't somebody just
Franco reads it.
That's how I just listened to it. Yeah, with Franco because I love Franco.
We're not allowed to like him. I don't think we're allowed to like him anymore. One time he looked at a woman's butt, so we're not allowed to like him.
I love Franco. I'm sorry. We still talk about Disaster Artist because that was just fantastic.
Yes, we need to talk about that. Love that. Love that movie. Love the book. I think I like the book more.
So good. So good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But back to it. So that's sort of like my biggest things is that if the changes they make can be very impactful to the next movie. And is it okay to do that? Yes, they have to. They have to make the changes. They have to sneak it all in there. But will it change everything about the movie? Yeah. It will.
Yeah, it will. And the problems too, it's like, okay, the origin of it, the origin of Pennywise alone could be a movie.
It should be.
Like, they're just it's a lot of cramming. And understandably so, but I don't know. It annoys me. It annoys me.
As a standalone movie without thinking about the book, it was fantastic. It was scary.
It was scary.
It was something that you're going to watch and you're going to like get creeped out no matter when you watch it. I think. But looking at it as a full picture, it's hard to stomach until the rest of it's out because it's hard to know what exactly is going to happen.
It's kind of giving me some anxiety. I'm a little worried.
I'm really actually worried now that it's going to be I didn't even think about it being in this timeline. So I'm a little bit worried.
You know what else worries me? Like, that we're getting kind of old because I keep thinking of like, oh, these people should play them, and they're all people who are like in their 50s. Like
Like
the
Hugh
you know,
Jackman. Like, what are you thinking?
Hugh Jackman would be perfect as I
For
don't know.
for who?
Um,
Bill.
Bill. Bill. Only if he gets a top hat. I feel like he likes roles where he gets a top hat, like
He does.
Prestige and
He does.
Greatest Showman. We should do Greatest Showman.
I love that, especially the Spanish subtitles.
It makes it so much better.
It really does. It really gives you a little perspective on it. Um, I keep thinking about like the people that are our age are literally Kristen Stewart. Um, like people you're like, oh,
Yeah, I can't even name any other people like in our
in their 30s.
Franco's in his 30s, but I don't think
Could you see Franco as Rich?
Bestie.
Bestie. Franco is Richie.
Oh
Beep
God.
beep Richie, and they better say it more than once.
That that was a disservice.
Yeah, well, I told Drew they threw it in as a fan service, but it was wrongly done because it should have been the entire movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and I did like the character of Richie, but I think they could have played up more how like annoying he was.
Because they didn't make him annoying in this; they made him funny.
Yeah.
In the book,
Yeah.
he's really annoying, and you're like, if this character would shut up for 5 seconds, I would enjoy this book.
Yeah, in the book, I don't think anybody thinks he's funny. Like,
No, that's why they tell him beep beep Richie to make him stop talking. That was his code.
hmm
If you heard beep beep Richie, you shut up, and he just never did. Instead, in this movie, Pennywise says it to him.
Yeah, which made no sense. Yeah, if you hadn't known that.
If you don't know what that is about, you don't get the reference.
Yeah, that's. And I'm trying to figure out how much of the movie was like that.
And you probably think that some of it was because not many people have read the book It. They've seen the miniseries, but I don't think
Does
they've
that
read
bother
it.
you? Does that bother you when people like act like they're fans because they like watched the miniseries?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It
me too.
does. It bothers
It makes me
me.
feel like really elitist.
It really makes me feel elitist too.
hmm
Yeah, but
Like,
it's
oh. And it's funny because we're talking about like a Stephen King book, like who I love, but he's not exactly like respected. So
I know.
you didn't read the novel. Then you missed the part about the vomiting turtle.
Then you missed it. You don't know that a turtle vomits up Pennywise and they become one entity of yin and yang. That's what it's about, though. Like it's
I know.
and then you sit there and the turtle. Oh, the Lego turtle was such. That's exactly what what it was referring to.
I didn't even pick up on that. I didn't even
You-
realize it was a
The
turtle.
Lego turtle. Yeah.
'Cause I tried to turn my lights on.
But that's what it was. It symbolized the idea of the turtle being the one carrying the world on the back and blah 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 and puking up anyway. It's all symbolism there. It's weird. But if you don't read the book, you're just like, oh, look at that turtle that's made out of Legos. Oh, Georgie, I miss you. But they did a great job with Georgie. That actor was fantastic.
He was so cute.
He
Oh
was
my
so
God.
cute, but man, at the end, he was so creepy coming out with his little yellow raincoat, and you're like,
hmm
mm-mm,
Yeah.
kill that thing.
Yeah.
Hate to
Yeah.
say it. Kill him.
Yeah, I know. I know. He was. Mm.
And then when they when he's in the house and Bill's chasing him through the house, it's just like he's in the water. And I don't know if you noticed this, but it's Georgie and Pennywise, but you can't see Pennywise at first.
Yo,
Georgie's
yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
water.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Pennywise has him like a puppet.
Oh.
Rewatch the scene if you can. He throws him down and his hand's coming off the back of it like a puppet.
Oh my God. That's good.
That's one of the scarier scenes in the whole movie.
That's good. That's good. I
Yeah.
like that.
So they did that kind of really creepy, subtle things that, and they talk about Pennywise puppeteering people, and he's done it in the past in the book. They talk about how he's manipulated people that way. So it was like such a nod to everything that happens in the book.
Well, and he does a lot. Like Stephen King does a lot of that kind of stuff too. Like with like when someone's dead, especially a kid, like you want them back so badly, even if it's just the shell of them, and
Pet
you
Sematary.
know, I do have a hard on for Pet Cemetery. Sometimes dead is better,
Sometimes dead is better. That
Like,
should
and
be our
then-
tattoo. I'll just say on there is sometimes dead is better.
but I want it as a tramp stamp.
Mine could say beep beep Richie, and yours can say sometimes dead is better, and then Yes, tramp stamps.
Oh, it'd be so, so beautiful. But yeah, like he plays on that.
Hmm.
Like, like in Pet Cemetery, like he knows his kid is dead. He knows it's not going to be his kid that comes back, but you're so desperate. And
Hmm.
obviously Bill and Georgie were very, very close, and it's like he knows that can't be him, but he still wants it to be him so
And the
bad.
parents don't want him back.
Yeah, what is with that?
I think that plays to the idea that the parents know what's going on.
Or they don't, or they're
They
like,
know something's going on. Like that overarching thought that the adults in the town have seen it and ignore it.
is it that they're ignoring it or they can't
See, that's
see
the
it?
weird thing.
Like
You
they
don't
kind of,
know.
I kind of get this, like they have an underlying sense that something's not right, but they're blocked.
Yeah, and maybe that's true because think about it. Everybody left town but Mike. Okay,
Hmm.
Mike remembered. Okay, now in the book, all the other kids forget until they are told by Mike to start remembering, and he tells them slowly. Remember, he doesn't tell them everything that happened. He sort of lets them know, okay, we had this experience. Remember the name Pennywise. Remember as a kid, and then it starts flooding the memories, which is what happens to the one guy. He can't take it and kills himself.
Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Do you remember? Doesn't he call himself Gray? John, he introduces himself as Bob Gray to Georgie in the sewer. He says, I'm John Gray or Pennywise the Dancing Clown
Maybe
in the
there is.
book. In the
Yeah, he
book.
does. He does. He does. But
But did you read Dreamcatcher? Because I was thinking about that. I read that earlier that he introduces himself as John Gray. But in Dreamcatcher, the alien is Mr.
Mr.
Gray.
Gray.
And isn't there this idea that Pennywise is an alien, kind of, because
Yeah.
he came from an asteroid?
Yeah. That's such a good look at that connection.
I never, yeah.
There's the Stephen King web, right, that people put together.
There's a great diagram out there, like of like how everything is
And I
connected,
wonder
which
if
is
that's on
crazy
there.
since he was so coked out. Like, how do you do that when you're mad respect?
Mad respect for your coked out brain. But like that's an interesting point because number one, I love the movie Dreamcatcher. We forgot to name that one. I
I,
loved
I
it.
I actually like the book
The
too.
book's good too. All of it's
People
good.
don't people don't like it because he had just been that was like his first thing after he'd been hit by that truck,
In Maine.
like
He was walking
in
down,
Maine
yeah.
or van. Yeah, and he
Yeah.
was like, I mean, he was having a hard time, and people don't like the book because of that. He was just trying to come back.
It was a
But
good book. It
I
was a
thought it was a
good movie.
hmm
Um
yeah, I liked it.
but
I
you know
really
what? I never made that connection before and I wonder if it's on the Stephen King web. I wonder if the web that it's actually on there.
Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I forget. I'll just call it Stephen King web because I think everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody should. They should know this.
Everyone should know this. Steven.
Images. Oh, here it is. See the first image. I'm not even kidding. It's the first image I pulled up. Okay, let's see here. What we need to look at is Dreamcatcher
Oh, that's such a God. I wonder if I can buy that
and
and
hang it
hang
up
it
as
up.
a poster. I would love to. Okay, let's see here. It in Derry. Trying to find Dreamcatcher on here. It's hard to read. The Tommy Knockers. I forgot the Tommy Knockers reference Derry.
Everything's in Derry.
All
Everything's
right,
in
Dreamcatcher is orange.
Dreamcatcher's orange. So is it.
Yeah, Dreamcatcher is orange.
There
It's
it is,
set
way
in
down there.
Derry, and it has a plaque dedicated to losers is seen.
This is hard to follow. This is really hard to follow.
It is. It's so cool to read though, but
I know. I'm trying to make it bigger on my phone and it's not working.
me too. I think we can buy it.
Oh, we
Click
should
here
buy
to
it.
purchase. Click here to purchase.
Oh my God.
Oh my God! If you find it on the Stephen King universe, you click here to purchase it. Oh my God! From Etsy, you go Etsy. So we'd have to draw it out, but let's see where Dreamcatchers leads to. I'm following the line. I'm following the line to it,
Mm.
and then it also leads to. It comes up that way and up more and up the whole way. Where's it going this time?
Stand by me.
To the one on the top, Anita Wayworth in the Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, Rita Hayworth in the
I
Shawshank
can't read
Redemption.
it. It's so like blurry. I'm like, Rita
Yeah.
Hayworth? Wait.
Yeah. Well, the short story is called Rita Hayworth. They changed the title
Yeah.
because actresses were coming in for the casting thinking it was a movie about Rita Hayworth, so they changed the title.
It's definitely not.
No.
Oh, I'm listening
No.
to Full Dark No Stars right now, by the way.
Love that.
Love it.
So much. Love it so
1922.
much.
If anybody has a chance to listen to 1922, give it a listen. And then there's a movie on Netflix about it, which I have not watched yet. And
It's
I'd
good.
like to. Did you like it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have you watched Gerald's Game?
Mm-hmm. Have you?
Yes.
Did you read it?
Yes.
Okay. When you watched it, do you remember when she's talking about being in the well and seeing the woman?
Yeah.
That's
That's
in
for,
Dolores Claiborne. Dolores Claiborne talks about looking into a well and seeing a girl.
woman. Yes. That's exactly. I was like, wow, this is such a Dolores Claiborne thing.
Yep. It's the same
Oh,
eclipse.
it
It's
is
the
the same
exact same eclipse. Uh-huh.
See, this. If you want to know anything about Stephen King, read the flowchart and see. Like you know stuff. You're like, oh, I didn't know that Cujo was connected to, you know.
Oh,
Where's
I
it?
know. Hold on.
You know,
It's
you know.
it's the Christopher Walken movie that we were just talking about. Dead Zone.
Yeah.
It's connected to Dead Zone.
Mhm.
Yep.
Like it's
It's the
crazy.
yeah, it's the same like evil spirit entity floating around.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you have any time, check this out. Like, I want to have it for my wall.
I know. I think we should buy it. How much is it?
Mentioned before. Blah 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 blah. Click here. Items unavailable. I'm so
Ugh.
I can request it from her. Like I'll look into that. Oh, and by the by, my aunt has a drawing of Pennywise in her house.
I'll draw you a Pennywise, bestie.
Please do.
You want one?
Yeah. My God.
I'll do one.
Oh,
I have
so
your
excited.
unicorn too, by the way.
Oh, I'm so excited. All right, so I think that we're almost out of time.
Yeah, I'm
But-
just putting my shoes on.
Yeah, you have to go. We love
I
you
gotta-
guys. Thanks for
I'm gonna
watching.
start up. Yep. Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody. We'll hopefully next week we'll talk about, I don't know, disaster artists.
Yeah, we could do disaster artist
Yeah.
or
Join us next week, either Wednesday or Friday for Two Girls,
One show.
show. Bye.